Oh man, Norwegian spirit. We're hitting Tauranga. It's our last stop before Auckland, and it's time for the Hobbiton movie set. Now, everybody that's seen the movies, if they had an opportunity to go here and check out the movie set, they would. So we did, and it did not disappoint. It was so awesome. You really need to watch this video and check out all the cool stuff. First off, we get to the Port of Tauranga. We get off the ship. We hurry down the pier here. We jump on a shuttle bus. Now, I think it was about 45 minute ride, but there was a lot of beautiful stuff to look at. They drop us off here at their main little center. We kind of take a peek around this. These tables is where we met our guide after we got off of the bus. Then we get on this another shuttle bus, and it shuttles us down to the area where they actually filmed everything, and then we get to watch this.
Hello, I just wanted to welcome you on your journey to Hobbiton. I'm very, very pleased that you're able to take the time to go visit our set. It's great when you're making a movie, everything's so temporary. The film survives, but the sets and the costumes and the props that you make, they all just get thrown away. And so I'm delighted that Hobbiton has managed to survive, and I'm really pleased that you're taking the time to visit it, and I hope that you enjoy yourself. It's been years ago that we were flying around in a helicopter and found the Alexander farm from the air, and it, for some reason from the air it looked right, and when we landed it was absolutely perfect, as I'm sure you'll see for yourselves. So thank you very much to the Alexander family for their brilliant support over the years, and especially to Russell, who has been the greatest business partner to have, and as you'll see yourself, doing a fantastic job, making you very welcome.
It attracted the location scouts way back in 1998. After the completion of filming The Lord of the Rings in 2000, the set was torn down and Hobbiton was left as little more than a sheep paddock. So when Peter and his team returned for The Hobbit, we seized the opportunity to partner up and rebuild the set permanently, and it's been growing ever since. It's been an incredible journey, one we're proud to share with you today. Enjoy.
After a 15-minute shuttle ride or so, they drop us off, and we walk down into this little area where the guide will start talking to us. There's our guide. He says, "Hey, follow me." So now we're going to follow him along the trail. And if you've seen any of the other videos of New Zealand, or if you've been to New Zealand, it is just absolutely beautiful everywhere. You can tell by the drive into this, all the countryside. So now we're entering the area, and we get to see all of the movie props. Now, most of them were just props on the outside, facades or whatever, built into the hillside, and then some of them we got to go inside. Off in the distance there, it's hard to tell, but there's a wedding going on. You could actually get married here. And my memory's not perfect. I didn't remember every little detail, like, oh, that was in the part of the movie, this, that, but I did remember some of it. And it was just really cool to be there. And the area is huge, and there was a ton of people there. I tried to keep people out of the video the best I could. And just a quick FYI, this was the Hobbiton Movie Set Tour from Tauranga, about 6 hours. There's that wedding I was telling you about. And we booked it through Viator, which there will be a link down below. Now, our guide was really good. At each little spot where we stopped, he talked to us about that movie portion of it, or set, prop, how things were built, how things weren't. I mean, if anyone knows that they originally built the set, and I think he says it somewhere in the whole video here, it was out of cardboard and wood and stuff, and then they had trashed it all, burned it, got rid of it. And then when they decided to do the next movie or prequel, they rebuilt it permanently so it could be what we have today. And it's amazing the detail that went into everything. You know, unless you're going to stop the video at specific spots, and I'm not sure if you could zoom in or not, but there's just so much detail and so much to see on each one of these little houses. You'll see a lot of these garden areas, there's a lot of fruits and vegetables, and it was all real. Apparently they grow everything there, and then they have like a harvest, and you can see that they're actually harvesting it. And then there was going to be this big party this weekend that we were there, and it was at night, and a big festival, and they use all the food for that. I believe that the entire movie set spans over 1,200 acres. I mean, it's huge area, and we were there for quite some time walking around the entire area, and there's just so much to see. There's never a dull moment, and if you're a movie fan, then obviously you're just infatuated the entire time and going crazy about every little detail. You know, even like these clothes, they were telling us that they change them every so often. It's not something they just leave up there, so they really keep the property up nice and keep interchanging everything and making it look nice and original for you as you walk through. Now this one, it just had a cracked open door, but we got an opportunity to take a picture in the doorway, so we did. Kind of shows you the scale of it, and each house was different sizes. This is looking from above down on the main town where the inn's at, where you can get some food and drinks, which will be coming up later in the video. Got some fake smoke there to make it look like someone's actually in the house, which was really neat. Also, if you haven't realized yet, there is a lot of walking up and down hills on small dirt pathways, so keep that in mind if you are thinking about doing this excursion. See how small that door is on that particular little house. And of course, this entire time, and you can hear the group too, everybody's asking, can we go inside? Can we go inside? Where's the ones we get to go inside? And of course, they leave that almost to the end before we get back to the main restaurant and hub area, where we get to cross over the famous bridge where the water wheel on that little farmhouse is. Now, even in the video, it starts to feel like you're looking at the same thing again and again, but these are all different areas, and we just kept walking and zigzagged throughout the hillside, and they just have all these houses built into it. Now, one thing he did mention is after the movie, they did start to add some stuff, just, you know, to make it more interactive with the people that come and check it out. So you'll see when we go inside the houses, not all of that is movie set. Not all of these were in the movie. They did add a lot of these things after the fact, but it just adds to the fan experience. Like the wife, she's never seen the movies, doesn't care for it, doesn't want to watch them, and she even thought that this was a really cool place. Trust me, I still try to get her to watch the movies, and it still hasn't happened. Now we're getting close to the 2 different houses that we actually get to go inside. And they did mention that they actually do tours at night. That would be a little interesting. But I don't feel it would be as good as during the day. If you've done the tour at night, please post up in the comments. Tell us how it was. Oh, look, a little mailbox. Yes, I had to touch it. I had to open it, see if it worked. And it did. But there was nothing inside. So we are kind of waiting for the group that was inside to make its way through. So you go in one door, and you come out a opposite side, so it keeps the flow of traffic going. And this is us getting ready to go inside the green door. Like I said, they had 2 different entrances to divide people up so everybody can get inside. Now when walking through here, you had to watch your head. Even me, I'm only 5'7". And, you know, this is supposed to be for the dwarves, the smaller people, and so they made everything to scale. So when you're walking through here, you are bending over, trying to avoid stuff in most of the areas. What was really cool is it wasn't just like one room we got to go in. Like, this is the main living quarters, I guess you would say, and then there's a bedroom and a bathroom and a kitchen. So there was offshoots that we got to go into and check out, which you will obviously see. Everything inside there was interactive. They said we could touch, sit, lay down in the beds, get in the whatever, get in the tub. Someone actually got in the tub, you'll see. But we got to sit on the couches, lay on the bed, and you could see that they just were a lot smaller than regular size. Had a nice little fire going for us. Just chilling on the couch. Pretty much everybody wanted to sit on the couch and the chairs and be a part of everything. Now it was quite crowded in there, so we kind of had to make our way around and try to avoid filming people or having them get in our video.
It's a little small.
There were a group of people that just abused everything. Like, they sat in the tub and in the beds and everything for way too long. Didn't give other people an opportunity. They took tons of pictures and just... At some point, the guide even was yelling at them, "Come on, we have to go." And we barely got to see everything because those guys were taking so long. And the guy just got upset with them at some point because people were just taking too long and the next group needed to come in. And they just were, I would say, abusing their time, which affected everybody else, obviously. That's the bedroom, which was pretty cool. Bed was pretty small and not exactly comfortable. Another bedroom with some bunk beds in it. There's people in there and I was trying to avoid getting them on my video. You can see how small those bunks were. Kitchen table, all dressed up with some food. There's the kitchen cooking area. that guy was just posing for a picture with his friends. Well, that was really cool getting to see all those things, and I tried to videotape and take pictures of everything that I could while I was trying to absorb it and geek out.
It's really
Yeah, it felt like they gave us a good amount of time in there, but I don't know. I guess when you're geeking out, there's never enough time to be hanging out in there and checking everything out. You just want to stay in there forever, be immersed in it. Now, coming out. That's where we're heading to. Now, at this point coming out of it, we happened to be right behind the guide, so he was kind of talking to us and telling us the story. So this is where he's going to go into the story about how it was torn down and rebuilt. And it was an interesting story.
Off of it.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't think about it the first time.
Yeah.
Build everything out of temporary materials, untreated timber, plywood, polystyrene, styrofoam. And then after they finished filming, everything was torn down.
That's crazy.
And when the movies came out, they were a huge success. And then they realised, oh, whoops.
Yeah.
So luckily the movies were a success and they were able to come and do a sequel, prequel,
Yeah.
and then rebuild everything.
This, of course, is the bridge, and that is the house in the background there with the water wheel. There it is. Now coming in here, we do get one free alcoholic drink served in their old-fashioned mug-style cups. So we get to go inside, and they had food you could order in there, or more drinks if you want to pay for them. So we went in and got our free drink.
because that one's enough to also cash in the beer.
And in there, it was all set up. There's a guy, he's repainting, finishing this. He's doing it all by hand. Plenty of seating inside or outside. but we wanted to sit inside so we could kind of take in the atmosphere. It was just pretty neat. Just sit there. Those are our drinks.
Beer time.
This is the Dragon's Den, I believe it was called. I know you guys are going to correct me and eat me alive. I just don't recall. I'm old, I have a bad memory. But I liked it because it was a dragon. And there was actually like a dragon figure up on the roof. I didn't really get that in the video. And then we had a certain amount of time to have our drinks and kind of hang out and walk around the main area there. Like I said, they were getting ready for some type of festival that they were having for the weekend, and it started, I believe, that night. So they were doing, all this is real, they're doing all kinds of food and crafts and things like that. So we got to walk around and check all that out. And after a certain amount of time, he came and got us. We walked out.
12 farms to shoot Hobbiton, so they would film the party on one farm, and then they'd film Bilbo's house on another farm.
Oh,
And then
okay.
they found this farm.
When we did get back to the main area, they did allow us some time before we jumped back on the bus to go back to the cruise port to go into their gift shop and shop around, and it was crowded as heck and really expensive in there. Jumped back on the quick little shuttle to get back to the main area so we can meet up with our guide. Get back on that bus, take our 45 minute ride back to the cruise port, and then we sail away. Definitely worth the money, definitely worth it if you're going to go to Tauranga. Unfortunately, it took up the entire time, but for me, well worth it. So maybe next time we'll do something else if we ever go back and visit there again, which we would love to, but there's so many places to see and do things in this world that why go back to the same place twice? You have to really, really love it or have a good deal. Don't forget to check out more videos. Thanks for watching.